In this video, we will be going over all 70 best loadouts for every single brawler. The best star power, the best gadget, the best gear loadouts. So yeah, let's just hop in. All right, so first off, we got Shelly. Pretty standard loadout. You'll go this like 90% of the time. Clay pigeons, band-aid, speed gear, damage gear. You can sometimes run shell shock as opposed to band-aid, but I like band-aid better. It's just a safer. You can always get value out of it. And gear, speed, damage, you're gonna basically be that every single time because you're just gonna always play Shelly on bush maps. And then for Nita, same gears as well, speed, damage. The gadget and the star power are also very interchangeable. If you're facing tanks, you definitely want to go the stun gadget, and if you're playing heist, you definitely want to go the shield, and you also want to go hyper bear, but normally you go bear with me in outside of heist. And also the pet gear works really well in heist. You can go speed and then the pet gear. And Nita's just insane in heist when you buff up the bear with the shield and the pet gear. Now moving on to Colt, star power is preference. I like speed, so I suggest speed. It's an easier star power to play because you can auto aim a lot more. It's easier to juke as well. And then reload damage is just what you're going to run most of the time. You're going to play in heist, you know, where you want to get extra damage, all that good stuff. And silver bullet's good if you want to break the map, but if you have no reason to break the map, then you definitely just want to go the reload gadget. Now for Bull, the new supercharged buff or whatever made the supercharged gear work even better on it, so now I recommend going supercharged gear. And then the shield, star power, and stomper works really well. Berserker works decent on heist if you want to get extra damage, but I'd recommend the shield most of the time. And then just damage gear. You can also run speed gear if you want, but Bull doesn't really need speed gear too often. Now for Brock, you can run a ton of gears on Brock. The main ones are going to be reload and damage, but shield's very good if you just want some extra HP, because who knows what's going to kill you even faster if you got no shield. Star power, the extra rockets on the super is, I'd go it every single time. The gadget, definitely the rocket fuel. The jump rock is okay into tanks or stuff like that, but I definitely recommend mostly going rocket fuel. And so with Primo, your average speed, damage, gears. Star power, I like meteor rush like every single time. I don't really like fire. You kind of just get no really value out of it, and speed is just, it's just so good. And then the gadget, definitely suplex supplement. The meteor sometimes works on heist, but not very often, and you just find always more value with suplex. Very little of the time will you run meteor. Now with Barley, I'd go medical use like every single time, unless you know you're never going to get hit. Then obviously there's no point in running the heal. And then the gadget slow is just basically always good, but if there's no tanks, then you definitely want to run heal. That's just kind of how it works always with every brawler. You want to go the safe gadget unless you know you're not going to get ran down or tanked on or something like that. And then the gear, shield, damage is it's just the best. Speed sometimes works, vision if it's on a bushy map, but shield damage will always work. Now with Poco, you got the heal gadget and then screeching solo for the star power. The Capo is actually very underrated. It's pretty good in competitive, but Screech is just gonna work always, and the Capo's a bit more high skill to play. You kind of have to play smart with your teammates so you can get the best value. And then speed damage will always work. Heal is really good as well if there's no bush maps. And then the anti-stun gadget, I don't know what it's called, works really well into brawlers like Lou, Squeak. So if you're in draft or if you're in Power League or a friendly or something and you know you're going to face like a Lou, then you definitely want to go the anti-stun, but the heal will always work, so it's definitely the better gadget in general. Now we got Rosa, one of the new buffed brawlers. The gadget, the slow one in the bushes, is definitely the better one. And actually the buff star power, it got buffed recently, Thorny Gloves. It does so much damage. It's actually insane. It's definitely better than the heal one in the grass. And then speed damage will just be your gears every single time, so don't even worry about getting any other gears. Now for Jessie, the slow gadget's really good everywhere outside of heist. And then on heist, you want to go the super fast turret gadget, and then the star power, you definitely want to go the heal every single time. The energize, I think that, yeah, energize is what it's called. And then for the gears, you can go all sorts of gears. You can go all 5 that I have selected here. Speed, vision, damage, shield, pet power all work. Pet power is very good in heist, speed's good in bushy maps. Shield damage is kind of the standard for every normal Jessie map, but you can basically go with everything, but I definitely start with shield damage and then pet power if you want to play Jessie in heist. Now for Dynamite, satchel charge, every single time. Fidget spinner is actually kind of underrated, but a stun is just so good. And then demolition is always going to be better. And shield damages the gears pretty easily. Tick, you always want to go the mythic gear. And then the other gear is preference every single time. I like shield the most just because shield on a tick is like a 20% HP boost, which is insane. Vision gear is very good on bushy maps, but I'd usually just trade between vision and shield and then the mythic gear. Well oiled as a star power every single time. It helps for throw 1v1s. You just get to spam so much more. And then the shield gadget, unless you know you're never going to get hit. You want to go the nuke tick. That's what I call it, the one with the 6 mines gadget, if you're never going to get hit. But that's like 0% of the time. Now for 8-bit, I have 2 loadouts. So there's the normal 8-bit loadout, which is basically good on like a few maps I can name, like Hard Rock Mine, or just your average standard 8-bit loadout, which is the teleport gadget and the plugged in star power, just your average 8-bit loadout. And then there's the heist 8-bit loadout, which obviously you can play 8-bit on basically every single heist map. So it's going to be better because you're basically going to only play 8-bit on heist. So this is generally going to be the better one with the extra credits gadget, the extra clips, the 18 clip 1, and then the boosted booster star power, which is extra damage, and then you get the extra gadget. But the gears do stay the same. You can run speed gear sometimes, reload gear good too, but I think health gear is super good on 8-bit, and I think you should, and if you want to swap out a gear, you should definitely swap it out with damage gear. You could go reload heal or vision heal or speed heal. I think that's definitely the strategy. I'd always go heal with 8-bit. It's just so good. Now for Rico, the new buffed gadget, I don't even know what it's called, the bouncy balls one. That one's insane. It does insane damage to the high safe. It counters tanks even harder. And then the bouncy star power Rico also. And then super bouncy star power Rico, just good every single time. And then reload damage is going to work a lot of the time. But speed vision is also a nice combo on maps like Hard Rock Mine, Sneaky Fields, etc. Just if you're going to run vision with Rico, you definitely want to run speed as well. It just works pretty well. Now for Daryl, you're going to run tar barrel. You're going to run steel hoops 90% of the time. If it's heist, you're going to run spinny or recoil rotator, that one, every single time on heist. And then the rest, you want to run tar barrel, steel hoops every time. Rolling, if you see someone run rolling reload, call them out, tell them to switch their star power. And then for the gears, speed damage will work every single time. Health instead of speed also works on maps like Safe Zone, Bridge Too Far, just any non-bush maps. Now for Penny, the barrel is always better. You guys know that. Speed damage is the standard gears. The knockback mortar or the big 5 splash is also good. Both star powers are interchangeable. It's just preference. I like the knockback mortar though. And then any of the gear, speed damage, vision's good too. All of them are good, but definitely speed damage will work most of the time. Now for Carl, flying hook every single time. If you're gonna face like 4 knockbacks, then you might run the fire Carl. And then protective pirouette every single time, 100% of the time. Don't go the other one. Power throw is just not good. And for the gears, speed damage will work, but every single gear works is for Carl. As you see, I bought them all. Every single one works. Health is good if you want to play a more passive Carl. I don't recommend it. I would like shield better if you just want more HP because you'll end up dying with Carl. And then vision's good on bush maps, of course. Jackie, the speed gadget is better. Hardy Hat is also the better star power, but if you're facing a lot of tanks, and Counter Crush is way better into tanks than Hardy Hat is. But Hardy Hat's just better into every single brawler that's not a tank, which is like 60 out of the 70 brawlers. And then for the gears, speed damage, you just always want to run speed gear with Jackie. It's just if you're playing Jackie on a non-bush map, what are you doing? And damage gear is just helps with interactions, and you're always going to be low on a tank, so it's nice to have extra damage. And then for Gus, Kooky Popper, the exploding Gus Ghost one, and then the Spirit Animal one, I think that's what it's called, the one that gives your teammates extra 25% boost, or just the shield gets a 25% boost for 5 seconds. That one helps for a lot of interactions. And then all the gears on Gus work. Shield damage is going to be the standard one. You can run health too if you like. Speed vision is very good if you know you're going to be in a grass map. It's just, if you know, vision gear is just standard. If there's a bush map, vision gear will always work on every range baller. So that's already said, but it's not the best because, you know, obviously every single map's not going to have that many bushes. Now for Bo, on the gears, I was debating actually just putting straight up speed vision because I think Bo is so good with vision and speed. It works really well on maps like Double Swoosh, Hard Rock Mine, Undermine, all the gem grab maps, speed vision is just going to work really well. But if you're going to play bow on like knockout or heist, then you're not going to need vision gear. So reload damage is just going to be straight up better. Shield gear is good too in knockout just because it gives bow a lot extra HP to survive. And then snare bear is just better every single time. Only EU players will overrun vision bow. That's just not the strat. Now for M's, always a knockback. Star power is preference. Bad karma is definitely better on heist. I like hype better, but if you like bad karma, it's fine. You can run whatever you want. But either's better. I think hype's easier to play because you can play a lot more aggressive, heal a lot, but either's fine. Speed damage is the gears every time. Now for Stu, the speed turret is better most of the time. I'd say like 60% of the time. Wall break Stu is also very good. Gas will heal most of the time. Long dash works very well in the throwers like Sprout, Barley. On dueling beetles, it's also very good long dash. And then for the gears, speed damage. I always like speed damage. I don't really want any single other gear than speed damage on Stu. Health works sometimes. Shield if it's a wide open map. But these are the gears for the most part. Now for Piper, curve if you're facing no tanks. Knockback if you're facing tanks. Ambush if you're facing no tanks. Snappy sniping if you're facing tanks. That's just a given. And then you're going to face less tanks if you're playing Piper. That's just how it is. And then shield damage are just the gears every single time. Speed could work sometimes, but I don't recommend it. Now for Pam, Scrap Sucker the gadget every single time. Star power is preference, but I like Mama's Squeeze better. I think that's what it's called. The damage turret, it just provides a lot more value for me. And then the double heal gears, the heal gear and then the heal mythic gear, both work so well with Pam, especially in like hot zone or knockout. You just can't die, and that's the point of Pam, so it's just insane combo. Now for Frank, you're going to run the pull gadget if you know you're not going to get stunned. If you're going to get stunned, run the anti-stun. Sponge is better every single time, and speed damage will always work, but health and shield is actually a nasty combo if you just want to stay alive and just tank shots for 3 minutes straight. Not fun, but it works. For BB, you're going to run the heal gadget. I don't really know what it's called. And then you're going to run batting stance. I think that's better. Home run works pretty well into throwers, actually, or brawlers like Brock, Piper, Bell that can't hit you when you have the speed. But otherwise, batting stance is definitely going to work better. And then speed damage as the gears works really, really well. Health is also pretty underrated because if you run the health with the batting stance and the gadget, you just can't die, but that's not going to be very often, so I wouldn't recommend it the most. Now for B, the new spinny bee gadget is actually very good, but it's glitched. If you guys didn't know, if you spin the bees around the map, like outside of the map, once they hit outside of the map, if they spin back into the map, they can't do damage to anyone. That's a really bad glitch because it basically kills the gadget most of the time. But I still recommend the pot, the honey molasses, I think is what it's called. And then for the star power, the shield one, better every single time, just works better. You can auto aim, you can combine the shield with the slow, then run it down, auto aim. It's just easier to play, it's better. And for the gears, shield damage will work most of the time. I'd always run shield with B. Shield with the shield star power just makes you have like 6,000 HP. It's kind of wild. So yeah, it works out really well. And then you can kind of swap the other gear for whatever you want, but I like damage most of the time. So for Nani, we got a standard loadout, return to sender gadget, broken. It's a very good gadget, good every single time. Autofocus also, better star power like every single time. And then supercharged damage is what you're just going to always run. I don't see any reason not to. So yeah, Nani's got a pretty simple loadout. Now for Edgar, I think hardcore is the better gadget. I think it just helps you win interactions. If you run the other gadget, you get your super a lot, but the issue is you can't kill anyone. You just die so fast. And then fisticuffs with the hardcore gadget, you heal so much. You do a lot of damage, and you just can't die. So it works pretty well, even though Edgar still sucks. It's all right. And then speed damage for the gears. Supercharge works okay. Shields are all right, but you're going to run Edgar on bush map, so why not just use speed? Now, so for Griff, the wall break gadget every single time. The other gadget is the worst gadget in the game. I don't even know what it's called. You don't even need to know what it's called. It doesn't deserve a name. And then for the star power, business resilience, it's definitely the better one. It heals you. It keeps you alive. You can just be so annoying. You can even run health gear with the star power to get like even more. You don't heal extra, but you can heal a lot with the heal gear and the star power. And then damage gear is just good. Every single gear is good on Griff, though. You can always find a use out of every single gear. These are just the best ones. And keep the chain star powers good into tanks, I'd say sometimes. but most of the time you just run business resist. Now for Grom, I got a hot take here. The gadget, I like the turret gadget better actually. I feel like you get no value from the triple shot Grom outside of heist. Obviously you want to run the triple shot Grom on like safe zone or bridge too far just to get extra damage on the safe. That's just what makes Grom broken in heist. But outside of that, I really like the gadget to block shots for vision and bushes. It just works really well. Shield damage as the gears is just better. They're just the better gears. And then the star power, the extra damage star power is just better. It works every single time. You can do so much damage with damage gear with the star power. You get up to like 2,400 damage, which is just insane. Now for Bonnie, the star power and the gadget are just going to run every single time. The extra jump Bonnie star power is just better. And then the sugar rush gadget, the one that makes you faster, extra reload, they're just better. You will run those every single time. The other two are both awful. And then for the gears, heal gear and damage gear basically every single time. Speed and vision is a nice combo though on grass maps, but for the most part you'll run heal and damage. Now for Hank is terrible. It doesn't matter what gadget or star power or gear you use, you're never going to win with Hank. But the slow gadget is better, and then the speed boost from the extra shot or the full shot radius, whatever you want to call it, star power, the one that makes you slightly faster, is better than speed damage as the gears. But Hank's just terrible. Don't run Hank. Now for Mortis, shout out to all the bad Mortis randoms. You want to go Survival Shovel, the extra reload, and then Creepy Harvest to heal from your kills. But the bad randoms don't get kills, so maybe the bad randoms should run Coiled Snake. But regardless, speed damage is the gears. Shield is very good for some interactions, but speed is just, it helps you to move fast without having to use your attack. So you can close the gap on the enemy and then dash on them and just kill them instantly. Now for Tara, one of the best bars in the game, the gadget support from beyond is much better, but the vision Tara is very underrated, especially if you know when you're going to get countered by an Ems, a Sandy, a Squeak, an Amber, just splash brawlers. Then you run the vision and it works really well. And the star power is preference, up to you. I like the 3000 HP damage pet, that works better for me, but the heal one is very good as well. And then you want to run speed damage, as the gears. Vision gear is underrated with Tara though, and pet power is good on heist. Now for Jean, I want to preface this to all players that play Jean. If you run knockback Jean, it's not good. Knockback Jean is not good. Vengeful Spirits is the far superior gadget every single time, unless you're gonna face like a tank. But Jean doesn't really, like, Jean's not really played on tank maps. Jean's played on knockout, on bounty, and okay, if you know you're going to face a tank, then yes, run knockback. But Vengeful Spirits is so good. And I see so many times people run knockback Jean into 3 long-range bars, and you're never going to knock them back, so what's the point? And then Magic Puffs every time. It's just the broken star power. And then long pull gear is just an insane gear. It's like the best gear in the game, I'd say. And then Vision is also a very good gear on Jean. Speed gear works too, but Vision is just overall so good on Jean. Next up, we got Max. Gadget and star power, pretty simple. You got Supercharge and you got Phase Shifter. Phase Shifter is just infinitely the better gadget. And for gears, I like heal damage. Speed Vision is also a nice combo on bush maps, but I don't really like running speed too much on Max though, because you're kind of just, you already have speed, so it's not really too big of an issue. Now for Mr. P, we got the Porter Reinforcements gadget and the Revolving Door star power. The buffed porters and the double buffed porters is just insane. It's so annoying. Mr. P just becomes one of the most annoying brawlers in the game. And for the gears, I actually have Speed Vision, because I find myself always playing Vision on Mr. P. Like, there's more times where I play Vision on Mr. P than I don't on maps like Ring of Fire, Infinite Doom, Hard Rock Mine. Flaring Phoenix is good too. Just, Vision's very good with Mr. P. You obviously don't have to if you don't want to, but I really like playing Vision. You could swap Vision for damage if you like. Definitely don't buy the pet gear though. The pet gear is useless on Mr. P. For Sprout, here's the loadout you'll use 95% of the time, unless you're playing like a full bush map. Then you'll go speed gear instead of damage gear, and then you'll go shield as a star power. But Overgrowth and Transplant, just sick combo. And then the Supercharged gear, you'll go every single time. It just 4-shot Sprout is so good. And then damage gear will get swapped sometimes if you want, but damage is very good on Sprout. Now for Byron, the gadget and the star power are very interchangeable. I think all 4 are very valid and they all have their own uses. And you can kind of pick whatever you want. These are the ones I like. I like the Malaise, the anti-heal. It's just very good for 9 seconds. You basically just can't heal. And then The triple shot gadget, just it's easier to hit a shot. You get a free shot. You do a lot of damage with it. You can even kill tanks with it. And it's just kind of versatile. The heal is good too if you're playing like knockout or bounty or trying to survive. And then for the gear shield damage, you'll just use it every single time. The other ones are not really too useful on Byron. We got Squeak. We got the slow gadget that will be used every single time. It is broken. It is one of the best gadgets in the game, maybe even the best gadget in the game. And then we also got chain reaction, the star power, one of the best star powers in the game. Squeak's just a broken brawler because of the gadget and the star power. Its loadout is crazy. And then for the gear, speed damage will always be good. And if there's no bush maps, then you run heal. But Squeak's best on bush maps. All right, now we got Gray, gadget, walking cane, good into tanks, it's good into countering knockbacks, it breaks walls, it counters throwers. The healing star power is also very good. The shield one is good as well, but I like the heal. It just provides more value over the course of the game. And then every single gear is good on Gray, but I like speed damage the best because damage gear really is good on Gray. It helps you win a lot of interactions. You can 3-shot many brawlers instead of 4-shotting them or 5-shotting them. And speed gear is always nice on Gray. Now for Willow, I don't even know what the gadget is called, but the one that does 2300 damage with the shot, it's extra damage, it's instant, it's burst damage, it charges your super instantly too. So it works really well in the tanks. You can be a quarter off your super and then instantly get your super off hitting that one shot and then super them. And then it saves you a lot. Dive is very good in many situations, though I would recommend it into brawlers like Carl, or maybe jump brawlers like Crow or Bonnie. You can kind of just dodge the jump. And then for the star power, the one that makes the brawlers faster, the other one is useless. I think it's called Obsession if I'm not mistaken. And then for the gears, I like shield damage. Speed gear is very good too. I think you always run shield though because Willow's super weak and having shield is very nice. So you can kind of swap damage for speed, vision, whatever you want regarding on the map. So now we got the Glizzy Man himself, the Doug for the gadget. The extra double damage is insane. You can do like 4,000 damage with a shot. So yeah, extra mustard. And then I don't even have the other star power, but the one that heals you with your shot is definitely the better one. It's just extra healing. It's free healing. It's always good. And then gear speed damage every time. Spike has really good gadgets and star powers. The Cactus and Curveball are a very good combo. You can kind of play passive. You can block shots. Curveball is just good into everything. But also the Fertilize and Pincushion combo on like Heist, if you're playing Pit Stop or Hot Potato, and you just want to get straight to the safe, you can pop your Fertilize and then they can't kill you, and then you pop the gadget on the safe and you do an insane amount of damage. So that's a good idea for Heist. And you always want to go the Mythic Gear Spike. It makes the super actually insane. If you get hit by the super, you basically die every single time. And then I like Vision Gear the best with Spike because when you're playing Spike, you're facing a lot of tanks and bush maps, and Curveball with the Vision Gear works super well. But Damage Gear is also very nice, and Shield Gear is good too. Now for Crow, we got the Slowing Toxin. It's the Crow. It's the Crow slow. You already know. Then we got the Anti-Damage Reduction. I think it's called Extra Toxic Star Power. Also very broken. One of the best star powers in the game, even though it just got nerfed. And then I'd go Shield Gear just for the extra HP. And then the Mythic Gear is insane. It's one of the best Mythic Gears in the game. It just does so much damage. It's very good. You can sometimes run Damage Gear, but I'd always run the Mythic Gear, so maybe swap damage for shield or speed for shield or vision. I like vision on Crow. Some people don't, but you do you. Now for Leon, we got Lollipop, Drop, and Invisi Heal. Those are just the two best loadouts. There's no really other reason to run the others. And then I like speed damage. The extra second on your super Mythic Gear, I thought it was good, but after playing it a while, it didn't feel as good as I thought it was, so I stopped using it. And Shield Gear is actually very good too, but Leon on bush maps is Leon with the speed gear and bush maps is just so fast, so I recommend going speed. Sandy, we got the Sleep Gadget. It's a stun, it's broken. For the star power, I like Rude Sands. Healing Sands is actually very good with Poco comps or tank comps, but I do like Rude Sands better just to stop healing, and it just kicks them out of the Sandy super basically, and it just does insane area denial, and the gears speed damage every single time. Now for Amber, the gadget and the star power that you run every single time is the one that spawns the fire when you gadget and makes you faster. It's so good. It spawns fire you, and then when you run the star power that automatically charges your super and lets you get an extra super down, it just works. They synergize so well. It works. It's just better. That's all I can say. And then for the gears, you can run any gear in the game. All 7 are very viable with Amber. I would Not recommend shield. I think shield is definitely the worst by far, but all 7 are viable. I do think reload damage is the standard best, but speed vision's good on maps like double swoosh, infinite doom, etc. And heal is good on hot zone. The mythic gear is also good on hot zone to zone areas. It's just everything. You can run whatever you want. It's preference, but I recommend reload damage. Now for Meg, the heal gadget, I do recommend better. I think it's a lot simpler to play. The turret can get a lot of value, but you have to play it correctly. And then the shield star power is way better. The Boom Boom Meg is only good into bars like Carl or tank. So if you know you're going to face tanks, then you do run the knockback Meg. It does provide a lot of value, but if you're not facing tanks, then it's just kind of useless. And every single gear is good on Meg, but I like speed damage the best just because you're going to always play Meg on speed maps. But if you're not and you're playing it on like open zone or ring of fire, you definitely want to go heal and even shield. Maybe go heal shield combo and just try and stay alive, but speed damage is definitely better for the most part. Now for Chester, you go the random super gadget. The other one that gives you the random effect is alright, but it's just not better than the random super. And for the star power, you go the 4-shot one. That's like given. It's just the other star power is actually, I think, the most useless star power in the game. It gives you 0 value towards the game. Alright, so now we start with the long list of chromatics. First off, Gale. For the gadget, pretty simple. Go the tornado. It's just better. Jump pad is good in certain situations, but tornado just overall better. And then I like stun Gale, but slow Gale's also just as good, so it's kind of up to preference. And then gears, speed, damage is good, vision is good sometimes, but mostly speed damage. All right, so Surge, definitely go the upgrade Surge. The amount of hard stuck Surges playing the wrong gadget, it's just, I've seen enough. Like, run the other gadget, get your levels easier, and get some levels. And then go the Serve Ice Cold, extra level star power, speed damage every single time, no chance you run anything else. Maybe vision, but nah, there's no point. I don't even know why I have shield. It was just a bad idea to buy. All right, so with Colette, heal gadget every single time, of course, that's a given. I think the gadget's called Gotcha, if you want to know the name. Star power, definitely the shield one. And I like heal and damage, especially because Colette's like really good on open maps. You're not going to really need speed gear too much. And the health combined with the gadget, you can just heal so much so quickly. Now with Lou, you want to go the hypothermia star power, the anti-damage one. It just really helps with interactions. Like when you reduce teammates' damages with like the Crow star power, the Lou star power, it's just insane. They provide so much value. Supercharge gear every single time. You can switch damage for a lot of other gears. It kind of depends on the map, but mostly damage would be good everywhere because it's damage gear, it's broken. And then for the gadget, the half freeze one is definitely the better one. Now with Dog, the gadgets and the star powers are both very good. They're both situational. If you want to break the map, you go with the wall break. If you want to heal up, play knockout, say Gold Arm Gulch, and you have a Gene comp, you go Gene Dog, you heal, you scale. The rocket gadget is very good if you have the Pierce Brawlers like Carl or Sandy. But otherwise, the sandbag is just going to be better. And then I like speed vision a lot on Dog, but damage is going to be better overall. I think speed, damage, vision, and shield are all very good with Dog. Just don't go heal. Everything else, you can kind of go whatever you want, but speed damage is usually the best loadout. Now with Bell, you want to go traps. Unless it's knockout, and knockout you want to go the bouncy because the traps will be useless most of the time. Shield star power, like every single time. Don't run the other one. It's too weird to play. I don't like it at all. And then reload damage. Speed vision is also very good on maps like Gold Arm or if you're playing Gem Grab mid. But for the most part, I would run reload damage. But if you're facing an RT or Piper, you want to switch shield for damage or reload, whichever one, it doesn't matter. I like doing shield damage, but it helps you not get two-shot by RT. And if you have the shield plus the shield gear, the Piper also doesn't two-shot you, so it helps with interactions. Now for Buzz, the extra super gadget is just better. Helps you get position, helps you charge your actual super. So you definitely want to run that one. And then for the star power, I actually like long stun better. I feel like whenever I'm on long stun Buzz, I do so much more. And the other one, the stun is just not long enough. Every tank kind of just kills you. And especially if you're in tank v tank, you definitely want to go long stun. If you're not facing any tanks, then don't run long stun. And then for the gears, speed damage is just the best with Buzz. For Ash, this exact 4, the chill pill gadget, the heal, the star power, the extra rage with your full ammo. That star power is definitely the better one. And then speed damage every single time. These four you will run every single time with Ash. There's no other reason not to. Lola, you want to go the shield clone gadget. Just provides a lot of value. And recently the new heal star power buff actually feels really good. So I like running it. And it's very good in hot zone if you want to just stay alive. It helps you stay alive. If your goal is to stay alive, then definitely run that. If you just want to do straight damage, then don't run that star power. If you're facing tanks, you should probably just not run it because the tanks aren't going to hit you anyway. You're just going to try and melt them. And then I like reload damage, but every single gear is really good on Lola. I think health is very good. Vision's good on maps like Kaboom, Double Swoosh, when you're playing hard side, or if you know you need to see them in the bushes, then you want to run Vision. And many of the times when you run Vision on a brawler, you want to run Speed as well. So Speed Vision is a very good combo. Now for Fang, Roundhouse Kick Stun is just better. It's a stun. Stuns are always better. If there's a stun on a brawler, it's like 90% of the time better. And then the shield star power. The chain one is very good for making flashy plays, but it's not better. And then I actually like shield gear with Fang because it helps you when you try to stay alive and go in. And speed gear on Fang is kind of pointless. I don't really like it. And then damage gear also obviously helps with interactions as well. Now with Eve, you want to go the jump gadget. And then the reverse order star power. That's just definitely the best loadout every single time. You don't even want to change your star power ever. And then the reload, you want to go the epic gear and the mythic gear. Those are the best two for sure. But you can switch it for Vision sometimes on like Kaboom Canyon. But that's kind of about it. Canal is also very good for Vision gear. And I'd swap reload for Vision gear. I'd try and get the 4 pets every single time because it's really, really good. Now for Jenny, you want to go the turret gadget, drop the base. Even though it got nerfed, it's still pretty good. And for the star power, you want to go the extra shot speed boost. I don't know what it's called, but it's a 30% boost to your shot speed. It provides a lot of value, and it's just easier to get your shots out. And that's just why it's so good. And then I'd go speed damage as the gears. Vision's good too. Now for Otis, the star power, the 4-shot star power, it shouldn't even be a star power, honestly. It should be built into Otis. I don't even know. Like, the other star power is actually terrible. Or maybe it's just this star power is broken, but whatever. The Fat Splatter gadget is the way better one. It provides so much control and value at the start of the games. With Otis, the 2 gears that I like the best are speed and supercharge. I also like Vision, so I either go speed Vision or speed supercharge basically every single time because Otis is like super good on bush maps, and it's not a bush map. You're not really going to be playing Otis most of the time, but if it is not but if you're playing it on an open map, then yeah, go supercharge damage. But outside of that, definitely speed and Vision or supercharge. Now with Sam, obviously want to go the pull gadget, the heal star power, best 2 by far, no debate. And then for the gear, I really like shield actually on Sam. I always run shield on Sam because why would you need speed gear when you're already fast with your... It's not even a star power or gadget, but it's like a mechanic. When you throw your knuckles, you're faster. So no need for speed gear. Health gear, you're not going to really try and heal with Sam. You're going to use your star power to heal. So there's no point in like getting a heal gear. So I just like shield. It gives you 600 HP and sometimes it wins you some interactions. So I kind of like it. And then obviously damage gear. Now with Buster, you want to go with the pull gadget and the anti-stun star power. Both pretty no debate as well. And every single time just run speed damage. Now with Mandy, the gadget's pretty interchangeable. I don't really play Mandy enough to know which one's better, but I like both. So whichever one you like better. The slow is definitely a bit easier to play. I like the shoot through wall as well too. Doesn't really matter to me. And then you go the 20% in my sights star power, speed boost to your shot. Pretty clear of that. And then for the gears, I like shield damage, and I think that's just the best. We got RT for the gadget. You definitely want to go the one that blows up the camera and does the 1050 damage at whenever you want. For the star power, you want to go the shield. I feel like it provides so much value. It's good into tanks. It's really good at knockout in the end. Actually really underrated, I feel like. I don't see people run it too much. And then for the gears, shield damage. But every single gear on RT is very good. Flaring Phoenix, I do like running Vision gear and speed. But outside of that, RT is not very good on too many maps. Maybe like Canal, you could run Vision. But on maps like Gold Arm, Bell's Rock, Shooting Star, you definitely want to run shield damage. Okay, so for Maisie, I recommend the stun gadget, the one that dashes. And it's also a really good combination with their super and star power. The star power that slows them on contact with the super. And then speed damage is just very good with Maisie. You're going to always play Maisie on bush maps, and it just provides so much value. Horde, you want to go the mute. I think the mute's still better, even though it got nerfed. Jump is very good, though, so Don't underestimate jump. I think you can run jump like 40% of the time. I just think mute's better in general. And then the mushroom star power is easily better. And I like speed damage as the gears, but shield's also very good if you know you're not going to be in the bushes too often. So yep, that was all 70 brawlers, ended with Cordelius. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.